A hard brother that lives in New York. Where suckers are hard and we don't have to talk. Shut your mouth before we come out stomping. Hey yo, easy. Fuck Compton.
Alright, you kids get to bed, I get the storybook.
Tim Dog said F Compton then pulled up with 80 New York Stepperz. In the summer of 1991, the Bronx was still breathing smoke from all the hell that the crack epidemic raised up in the 80s. Not the kind from burning buildings like back in the old days, but the kind that came from corner beefs, broken dreams, basement studios, and young niggas trying to turn pain into power. Out of that smoke came a new rapper named Tim Dog, a loudmouth from the notorious trenches of the South Bronx in New York City, with a voice like gravel and a heart full of gangster. He had just dropped his first single and it went through the roof. The hook was super disrespectful. The title was even worse. And by the time the record hit the whole country, it felt like somebody had thrown a match into a toilet bowl full of gasoline. On the East Coast, people laughed and called it mad hard body. On the West Coast, people heard it different. To them, it was an insult. Even to the people who weren't from, nor had ever been to the city which was the subject of the diss. Compton, California had become the most feared city in rap music by 1991. Groups from California had put the whole world on notice. They made people picture lowriders, police helicopters, palm trees, gang corners, and young men who did not play games. New movie director John Singleton had dropped the cult classic movie that year called Boys in the Hood, and in one scene, the rapper Ice Cube's character Doughboy said to Trey and Ricky, "I thought you was scared to go to Compton." So when Tim Dog shouted against Compton on his debut song, niggas in Los Angeles did not take it as entertainment. They took it personal. There was no internet back then, no comments, no viral clips, no live streams. But hate still traveled. It came in envelopes. Letters with no return address started showing up at his label office. Some had threats. Some had warnings. Some had drawings of coffins. One letter said, "Don't come to LA." It was the equivalent of a rapper dissing O Block in 2019 or something. Tim Dog laughed at first, but he kept every letter. Then came the concert booking, Christmas night, downtown Los Angeles. His manager told him not to go. His mother told him not to go. Even some of his own crew told him, "Dog, you made your point. Stay home." But Tim Dog was from the South Bronx, one of the roughest sections of New York City. And in his mind, backing down was worse than dying. So he said, "Book the flights, B." Tim Dog did not fly alone. He brought 11 close friends and security guards with him on the plane. But that was only the first wave of goons he had tagged along. The second wave came over in a caravan of whips, a 3 days drive from the 5 boroughs. 10 Vs total. Mazda MPVs, Range Rovers, and whatever else could hold a bunch of goons, bags, attitude, and of course, fire. They had everything from Uzis to sawed-off shotties, pump action. Inside were 69 more people from New York. Childhood friends, ex-felons, street niggas, cousins, bodyguards, and men who simply wanted to say they had been there. By the time they linked up in sunny Los Angeles, Tim Dog had 80 men around him. Not all of them were tough, though, but all of them looked tough enough. That was the point. At the airport, a few of the men met him near baggage claim. They were wearing leather jackets, Yankees caps, Tim boots, gold chains in fronts, and ice grills on their faces. Tim jokingly told his boys they was dressed like they was coming out of a snowstorm, but ain't no snow out here in Cali, just some freaky ass snow bunnies. One of his security guards leaned close and said, "This is too much, yo." Tim Dog looked at him and said, "Too much is exactly enough, my nigga." Later that night, he concert promoter was nervous. The venue was nervous. The police were on guard and everybody expected trouble. And on Christmas night, downtown LA looked like it was waiting for a storm. LAPD had cars on every block. Officers stood near the doors. Extra security checked everybody twice. Even military vehicles could be seen near certain streets because the whole city had been tense that year due to the Rodney King police beating incident in March. But the show went on. Tim Dog hit the stage like he had something to prove. He performed every record with his chest out. When the controversial song came on, the room froze. Then the beat dropped. Some people booed. Some East Coast transplants cheered while others just stared. But nobody rushed the stage. Nobody threw a bottle or fired a shot. Nobody started a riot. By midnight, the show was over, and Tim Dog had survived doing a show in Los Angeles after dissing NWA and the city of Compton. His team wanted to go straight to the hotel, then straight to the airport in the morning. But the Dog had other plans, feeling himself after finishing a successful show. He stood outside near the Caravan, looked at all the headlights lined up behind him and smiled. "We going to Compton, yo!" His security chief shook his head. "Absolutely not, Mr. Blair," he said sternly, using the rapper's government last name. Tim Dog turned slow. "What you mean, absolutely not? I mean, we did the show. We're alive. Let's keep it that way." Tim Dog pointed toward the vans and ranges. "I ain't come all the way out here to rap about a place and not see it." One of the other guards said, "We don't know those streets." Tim Dog pulled a folded paper map from the glove compartment of the lead truck. There wasn't any GPS or the Waze app back then. Then we learned about them. As they all headed out, they got lost twice. Nobody had GPS. Nobody had smartphones. Nobody had reviews telling them where not to go. Just a paper map, bad directions, and New York confidence. The Caravan rolled through Los Angeles like a parade nobody invited. 10 whips with New York license plates. 80 men looking out the windows as they drove deeper into the Cali trenches the quieter the trucks got. Somebody in the back of one van whispered, "This don't look like the videos." Another man said, "Nah, son, it looks regular." That was what surprised them. There were houses, stores, churches, gas stations, families, Christmas lights still blinking in some windows. Then there were corners where young niggas wearing blue bandanas stood too still. Blocks where people watched every car. Walls with names written on them. Tim Dog saw all of it.
You better quit staring at all this juiciness and smash them like and subscribe buttons. A bitch picky and I got options.
After about 20 minutes, they reached a park off West Alondra Boulevard. The sign said Tragnew Park. The cars all pulled into the parking lot and doors opened. All of the Dog's man stepped out lighting up Philly blunts of chocolate tie. At first, the park was quiet except for the sound of tires and distant traffic. A few men wearing blue rags saw the New York plates, counted the bodies, and decided whatever this was, it was not worth figuring out right then. They left fast in a light blue Chevy 6 Deuce on chrome Daytons. Tim Dog laughed. "Y'all see that? These Cali niggas ain't gonna bug out on us about no song." His security guard said, "That doesn't mean we're safe, sir." But Tim Dog was already walking toward the basketball court. Within minutes, somebody found a ball near the fence. Somebody else opened coolers. One van had charcoal, lighter fluid, ribs, hot dogs, and foil trays because one of the older dudes had insisted, "You don't travel 80 deep with no food." So there they were. Christmas night. Compton, California. New York niggas playing basketball and starting a barbecue while the sky turned dark, and the neighborhood noticed. The first car rolled by slow. Then another. Then two more. By the time the grill was smoking, headlights were circling the park like great white sharks in the ocean around a broken down boat. Young lokes stepped out of their cars wearing blue, gray, black, and mean mugging. Some looked angry. Some looked curious. Some looked ready for whatever came next. Tim Dog's people stopped playing ball. The security guards moved closer, hands on their service weapons. The air tightened with tension and barbecue. One Compton Crip stepped forward and said, "Y'all East Coast niggas must be lost." A New York dude answered, "Nah, son. We right here grilling and chilling." Another Compton dude looked at the New York plates and said, "Y'all came a long way to be doing stupid shit like this, homie." Tim Dog's men started talking louder. The Compton men did too. Hands curled, shoulders squared. For a few seconds, history felt like it was about to go left. Then T-Dog walked between them. No microphone, no beat, no stage. Just him. "I'm the one y'all mad at," he said. Everybody looked at him. A man in a blue cap stared hard. "You the nigga made that mark-ass song dissing the town." T-Dog nodded. "I did. You thought that shit was hella funny, huh? At the time? And now?" T-Dog looked around the park. He looked at the houses beyond the fence. He looked at the men in front of him. He looked at the men behind him. Then he said, "Now I think maybe I was talking about something I didn't understand." Nobody moved. The man in the Georgetown Hoya snapback cap studied him. Then he said, "You from the Bronx, right? South Bronx, yeah. That place rough?" Tim Dog almost laughed. "Man, rough ain't even the word." The Compton nigga nodded. "Then you should know better than to disrespect another man's pain." That sentence hit harder than any threat letter. Tim Dog had no comeback. Out of nowhere, BG Crip yelled out, "Let's dump on these busters," before pulling out a .32 revolver and aiming at Tim Dog's head, firing twice and missing. That let off a chain reaction and both sides started an intense shootout. Gun smoke filled the air, blending in with the barbecue smoke, and luckily not one of the men on either side knew how to shoot professionally, even the hired security guards, which resulted in only one of the Crips getting grazed in his right shoulder, and one of Tim Dog's boys getting hit in his left butt cheek, the wound only superficial. It took two old ladies from across the street to brazenly walk over in the midst of the gun battle and shout for the men to stop firing. This changed everything. Not all at once. Not like in a movie. Nobody hugged immediately. Nobody started singing peace songs. The tension stayed there, sitting on everybody's shoulder. But the two grandmas started cussing all of the men out for trying to unalive each other, with them all being black men. After listening to the two old ladies rant for 8 minutes about black on black crime and Rodney King, one of the New Yorkers passed a plate of food to one of the Crips. When the loc accepted it and bit into the sweet meat, the tall brown-skinned man blurted out, "Who made these ribs, homie?" Then somebody from New York said, "My man Shy Mel right there from Queens. Don't compliment him too much or he'll never shut up." A few men laughed. That was the first crack in the wall. The Crips talked about their city. They talked about police brutality, funerals, blocks, loyalty, and how outsiders loved the image but ignored the suffering. The New Yorkers talked about burned out buildings, crack, poverty, stick-up kids, and growing up where sirens sounded like bedtime music. The more they talked, the smaller the distance got. Tim Dog sat on a bench with one of the OGs. He said, "All this time I thought Compton was just hype due to them NWA songs." The man shook his head. "Nah, cuz, this place is just as hard as where you from." Tim Dog looked up at the palm trees. "Funny thing is," he said, "this place remind me of the Bronx." The man smirked. "With better weather." Tim Dog smiled. "Word up. South Bronx with palm trees. By the end of the night, there was no more shooting, which the cops didn't even pull up for the first shootout, so it wouldn't have mattered anyway. Just men who could have destroyed each other choosing not to. Before Tim Dog and his team left, he stood up in front of everybody and said what nobody expected him to say. "I disrespected this city. I disrespected people I didn't know. I thought I was being fearless, but maybe I was just being mad stupid." The park got quiet. I still love where I'm from. BX forever. But I see y'all now. Compton ain't a punchline. It's a place full of people trying to survive just like us. He paused. "My bad, y'all," he said, looking at all of the Crips in the park. Nobody clapped. Not at first. Then one man nodded. Then another. Then the man in the blue cap stepped forward and shook Tim Dog's hand. That was enough. The next morning, when Tim Dog flew back to New York, he was not the same man who had arrived. He had come to Los Angeles expecting ops. He left knowing he had met mirrors. And sometimes the hardest city to face is not the one across the country. It is the one inside your own pride.
Same crack sidewalks, same struggle, just a different gang name. From the South Bronx streets all the way to LA, we all trying to make it out. it's a different highway. I came with 80 deep, ready if it got live. Then I looked around and saw the same way. We survived. Porch lights, hard eyes, kids weaving through the heat. Everybody standing tall on the edge of the street.
Same crack sidewalks,
Same crack sidewalks.
different cities, same fight. Same crack sidewalks,
We all tryna make it out. The same thing.
same crack sidewalks,
Same crack sidewalks.
different name, same night. Same crack sidewalks.
Still walking that rock. Summer of 91, one record shook the map, had the whole coast buzzing, ready for the snap. Letters in the mailbox, threats on the page, no internet back then, just real life rage. Touchdown in that light, crew on alert, caravan rolling deep just in case it got worse. But after all the tension in the headlines faded, he saw moms on the porch and little kids playing.
Same pain, same thrill.
Same dust in the air,
Same hands working hard.
same dreams everywhere.
We came and got it.
Left with a new view, ain't nothing new out here, just me and you.
Same crack sidewalks,
Same crack sidewalks.